Supreme Court today has granted interim bail to Ashish Mishra, who is the son of Union Minister Ajay Mishra, in connection with this Lakhimpur Kheri incident where farmers were killed by an SUV. So in connection with this particular case, Supreme Court, after detailed hearing, today has granted 8 weeks interim bail to Ashish Mishra. While granting interim bail to Ashish Mishra, underlining the importance of personal liberty, the Supreme Court has also imposed several conditions on Ashish Mishra while granting this interim bail. So this interim bail has been granted for 8 weeks period, wherein during the 8 weeks period, Ashish Mishra cannot stay in Uttar Pradesh or in Delhi. Also, he has to appear before the court whenever the court calls him for the trial proceedings. He has to cooperate with the trial proceeding, and also very importantly, he or his family members cannot influence any of the witnesses in this particular case. And if at all, if he or his family member try to influence any of the witnesses in this particular case, Supreme Court has clearly said that this will lead to cancellation of the interim bail that the Supreme Court has granted. And also very importantly, Supreme Court has also granted interim bail to 4 accused who have been named or who have been arrested by the UP police based on the FIR registered by the Mishra side, cross FIR that has been Mishra side against the farmers. So all those 4 farmers have also been granted interim bail by the Supreme Court. Along with that, Supreme Court has also said that the court will monitor the trial proceedings that is happening in the UP court, because the trial court had told the Supreme Court that it will take at least 5 years for the trial to complete, and that's why Supreme Court has said that the apex court will monitor the trial proceedings in the UP court. And also Supreme Court has said that this matter will again be heard after 8 weeks to see the conduct of Ajay Mishra, and if at all, if his conduct is satisfied, then the Supreme Court might extend the interim bail that has been granted for 8 weeks. So the big picture for now is that as an interim relief to Ashish Mishra, Supreme Court has granted 8 weeks interim bail to Ashish Mishra, but he cannot stay in UP or in Delhi, and he cannot influence the witnesses.
Right. We also have Vedant with us. Thank you so much, Arvind, for getting us those details. Well, Vedant, the Union Minister's son has been granted bail by the Supreme Court. Like Arvind was breaking it down for us, there are certain conditions, but take us through the implications.
Well, Divya, I come to you from the jail here in Lakhimpur Kheri, where currently Ashish Mishra is in. Of course, he is an influential man, given the fact that he is the son of the junior Home Minister of Uttar Pradesh. And of course, as far as the implications are concerned, Divya, remember, a lot of public sentiment really is attached as far as this case is concerned. In fact, last year, as you rightly mentioned, it's been more than a year. In fact, when a vehicle which was allegedly the junior Home Minister's son was seated, that mowed down 8 people, killing all of them, of course. And remember, as far as the implications are concerned, 2 important things, Divya. Remember, the state in its affidavit to as the Supreme Court in fact had said, there are 2 things that have to be considered. One is the gravity of the case as far as the bail is concerned. So of course the charge sheet says it very clearly that it's an extremely grave offence. So the gravity of the offence has to be considered when the court in fact decides to grant bail. The second thing was that given that he is an influential man, will he be able to tamper with crucial evidence that is important as far as the investigation of the case is concerned. Now remember, the investigation is still underway, and as far as the charges are concerned, grave charges, in fact serious charges are have been registered against the junior Home Minister's son. Of course, attempt to murder, criminal conspiracy are some of the charges that have been slammed at him. Now remember, the important thing is that 98 people here in living in and around Lakhimpur, they have been given security, because remember, the lawyers appearing for the witnesses and the farmers, he said that there have been attempts to in fact also assault the eyewitnesses and tamper with the evidence. So it remains to be seen what are the implications. And as Arvind in fact was breaking it down for us, he said that the Supreme Court has said in its order that Ashish Mishra Teni will not be able to live in UP, has to leave UP, and will also not be able to stay in Delhi for the next 8 weeks. In fact, the Supreme Court will be very closely monitoring the trial in the UP court as well. But the other aspect is, of course, it remains to be seen the kind of protests that we might witness here in Lakhimpur Kheri as well, because of course 8 people were mowed down, including a journalist. Of course, bereaved families, what their response is, that remains to be seen. But of course, 8 weeks in interim bail has been granted to Ashish Mishra Teni, and one must remember that he's an influential man, and that is something that has been reiterated by the Supreme Court as well. Divya.